Greetings, Sagittarius. Welcome to your Capricorn season reading. I hope you celebrated yourself for your birthday in a way that meant something to you, whether you did something physical or you allowed yourself to come to a lot of really helpful realizations about who you want to be, how you want to feel about your life, and then you allowed yourself to be that person and to feel those things. If you did that for yourself, then you had a good birthday. But if you're still craving some physical delights and pleasures and you feel like, wow, this card wanted to come out so badly, the Tower, you need to shake things up. The Tower. In a lot of ways, what you think is steady and solid and needs you to hold on really tightly to it is not needed at all, actually. It was just something that you were holding on to keep yourself comfortable. Whatever little bit of comfort you could muster up for yourself. So it's time to do some really pleasurable things. And you don't have to spend a lot to do it, but it's time to do it, whether it's going on a short trip, whether it's going to a restaurant that you've been wanting to try, whether it's going to a conference or some sort of experience for yourself, something, whatever right now is piquing your interest and has felt really distant from an experience that you think you should be able to have, or something that you feel like you have to wait to make happen. The Tower and the Hangman is saying, you don't have to wait to make it happen. You just actually have to make it happen. That's it. There's nothing else standing in the way at this point. So during Capricorn season, if you feel like you didn't take the time to celebrate you because of Mercury retrograde and what the hell is going on, now is the time. Do some things for you. This is also a great time to shift everyone's perception of who you are. And if you let yourself drop all of the outer persona that you do from a sense of fear, and you literally are just your absolute, complete, full self, it's really easy to bring out this fresh version of you within your work, within your relationships, your home life. But if you run from this change and you want to stay again in this comfortable space that feels like no progress is really happening, but it's comfortable, it's what you've built, that's a choice. The second house, Capricorn season, which starts December 21st and ends on January 19th, it's easy for you to cling to things that have been physically comfortable. But here's the Wheel of Fortune right on the other side. And during Capricorn season, you see the abundance and the ways that you need to move to activate it, to attract it. And so if you don't cling to what you have had and spend all of your energy trying to sustain something that isn't even what you wanted in the way that you thought you wanted it in the first place, you can actually get to work on something that will produce a lot of abundance. And this doesn't have to just be something, financial. If it is something financial, it looks really good once you get to work and you stop, being emotional about how you thought things were supposed to come together, what you think it takes to build something, how you think it's supposed to look. This is a very resourceful season that you're in. It's time to use the resources that you have to get you to exactly where you want to be. So as long as I said, you don't think that what you have and how you've been moving is the thing that is going to sustain you for the long term and how you want to sustain your life for the long term, it's not. It's what sustained you thus far, but now it's time to not just go bigger. It's not even about going bigger, actually. It's about re-envisioning what this abundant lifestyle really is. That may mean cutting out a lot of visions that you had that you thought were the vision and the way to go. Or it may be centering your energy very, very intently on what you know this abundant experience is for you, what you want it to be. So this new moon in Capricorn coming up here, you see this 5 of Cups hanging out. This new moon in Capricorn happening on December 30th is a wake-up call in the most helpful way. You haven't been connected to your body and your experience, and now you're connected, and you've been going through this very intense spiritual experience where you haven't been able to move. And when you were moving, you know, Mercury retrograde was so confusing. It was like, okay, I know I need to be doing this thing, but it's like I didn't have the energy to do it, or I felt like there was too much change going on and I didn't really know which direction to go. How much of this is my ego and how much of this is really the future version of what I need to create and how I need to go about it. Mercury retrograde has finally come to an end. We've got the sun in Capricorn, and this new moon in Capricorn is cutting out all the noise. You need to classify your life energy. This Capricorn energy is very diligent. Of course, everyone has emotions. Of course, you go through loss. Of course, you're going to experience moments that feel like, wow, I can't believe I trusted these people with my heart. And then you're going to remember that you're building something very long term, and that some of these people may come along for the journey and some of them won't. Not all of them are meant to, and it's not your job to make sure that they do. It never was. But there is this very connected physical experience that you're having, and so even though there's this huge step up that you're getting ready to take towards your goals, the Magician and the Star, there's this huge step up that you're taking towards your goals. You can't help but feel this conflict about putting yourself in this more abundant space. I think what can help with maybe a sense of guilt about this ambition that you have right now and that is building really, really quickly is understanding that everybody's going through the same thing. Sometimes as a Sagittarian, you start to think, and a lot of people do this, but especially Sagittarians, you know, do this thing where you think you're the only one having an experience, and that's why things become so personal for you, and that's why people will react to you like you're crazy, because it's like everyone's going through this, you're not the only one, but you're the only one who actually will say it, and that's what it is. You know, it's like people can make you feel crazy because you're holding it in, but you see it all, and it's just like all this change is happening within people and how they're moving, and it's like nobody's saying anything. Everybody just wants you to play along with the game, but you're the one who will actually say something and be like, hold up, like things changed, like this is different, like, you know. So even though you feel like you have to express it in order to process it and move through it, rest in the fact that everyone is going through the same thing. Everyone's feeling this, you know, new physical capability where they realize they've been overthinking everything and it's just time to do the work day by day. And so now everyone's focused, they're responsible, all of that energy. And it may feel like it's a competition between you, and the way to get yourself out of that energy is to not care about being, the high, seen as the most successful one. That's how you lose the game. Caring about being seen as the most successful one will pull you into this draining energy of Capricorn season and will make you do things that actually set you 9 steps back. This is about taking very small, luxurious steps forward. You have a luxurious energy, you attract luxury back to you. That means taking care of yourself in every single way. It's not something externally to go get and grab. It's something internally to become within your home, within your mind, within your body. That is what this season is about for you. That's what this new moon reminds you of. That inner abundance and that inner self-worth. And if that means within your home you need to sit and look at all the things that you've allowed to go uncleaned, unaddressed, and you need to sit with it, please do. Take your time. Cry about it. And if you don't feel that heavy, which there's a lot that comes up during this season that needs to be healed, but if you're not feeling heavy because of some, emotional realizations, you're feeling heavy because you're working too hard and you're not sleeping. The ambition is driving your every move and you think that you're superhuman, but you're not superhuman. You need to rest. You need to rest. You need to sleep. You'll move twice as fast when you get proper sleep, rest, exercise, and you eat properly. Let's talk about love, because on January 2nd, Venus will move out of Aquarius and it will move into Pisces, into your 4th house. This is an opportune moment to focus on the things within your home that have been unfortunate. The dynamic, the situation. Nothing goes unseen and addressed under Venus and Pisces. There's nothing for anyone to present you with. It's all about what is real. Venus and Pisces is bursting all illusions. So you're asking yourself, is this really an abundant situation and an abundant relationship, or am I actually being abused at the highest level? And the only way to know is to focus on what this life is, the 4 of Wands. What is this abundant experience? Because some of you, the illusion of Pisces energy is creating this very intense back and forth where you feel like you're winning, you're so far ahead, you've got pretty much like the perfect relationship, like the perfect life. Like it feels like there's only a few ways that it could get any better, but it doesn't get much better than this, right? It's that kind of energy. This is so fun. Every day is such a vibe. Like it's just amazing. And then there's these other moments that are coming up where you're like, what the fuck? Did I manifest this? Love, but like, wait. And so I think this Ten of Swords is a reality. It's not a full illusion. You have to acknowledge that there's aspects of this connection and the situation that are less than ideal. And the only way to clear this energy is to call it like it is, you know, the Pisces energy. To feel it completely, not act like it doesn't exist, not act like nothing happened. Whatever the situation is for you, be different depending on who you are. But mentally, there's something where you feel like this isn't right. Emotionally, whatever it is. And you have to say it exactly as it is. Once you say it, once you say how you feel, and it will build up under Venus and Pisces, and you will see both sides of the situation. And so it will help you say things exactly as they are in a way that either, if this is truly a toxic dynamic, ends things so that you can actually call this Four of Wands energy towards you and focus on what this really should be and who should be in it, and including you, what version of you should be in it. For some of you, this conversation and this acknowledgement of what's not working is really a moment to strategize, because it's of no value to you and your partnership to be enjoying and celebrating when there's so much that still needs to be addressed. So Venus in Pisces is emotionally, mentally, it's a lot. It's a lot on everyone. Everyone needs rest. You need to feel it all, the duality of your feelings. And it may make you feel for a bit like you have to be in one energy of the other. There's no, but you know, again, this Pisces energy is the mixture. It's the mixture of the light and the shadow. If you can merge, if you can understand that it's possible to exist within these two energies, as harsh and as intense as it may feel, then you can move forward. It's the acceptance, it's the releasing of an ego that believes that things are supposed to be perfect all the time. When you release, when you acknowledge, when you address the things that need to be addressed, then you can get to work. The next level of work, the Three of Pentacles, there is really good partnership here, whether this is in a work setting or a relational setting. There is really good partnership here, but there's also a lot standing in the way right now because there's this inability to move through this light and shadow energy. And maybe there's more of the shadow that needs to be embodied here. I don't know. It depends on you. Are you too much light? Are you too much shadow? This Venus and Pisces in your fourth house wants to help you recalibrate. It wants to show you how to protect your heart and your emotions, your true emotional needs, and get shit done. As long as shit is getting done and you feel safe emotionally, you're going in the right direction. Venus in Pisces is also like, it's time to like not go back and forth about the thing like that you're trying to create and do. Like, it's time to birth it out into the world and not care about what anybody's going to think about it. This is your baby. This is your baby. And if you can continue to cut out the distractions, because there are a lot of distractions, especially when Venus enters Pisces, you want to focus on your family, you want to focus on connection. Everybody wants to bond, everybody wants to connect, and you absolutely should connect with the people that you love the most. But don't let that sense of connection keep you and make you start to doubt your thing. It feels like being used. That's what it feels like. It feels like you know, it feels like the need to sit down for a second, to recalibrate the mind and the heart towards what is being created, because there's a new version of you being birthed out. Someone who feels ready for what they want. But first you have to see all of the ways that you're being drained out by your connections and find the balance, right, between what you really should be giving to these connections. How much of you? How much of you? Mars is currently retrograde in Leo in your 9th house, and on January 6th it will shift back into Cancer. This is a very unpleasant shift for you, transparently, because you're not one to put feelings first. And also, everybody wants to test this power. They want to know if you have the power that you think you have, or are you trying to assert yourself as, being more powerful than you actually are. It's an interesting journey to go on for yourself. I think regardless of how people start to treat you, which is likely not very nicely, the Five of Swords. I think it's really easy because the energy from them isn't a sense of respect. It's not like, oh, I'm so happy for you that you've gotten to this place. You're really killing it. Like, you're on top. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? On top financially, on top of your game. Like, you start to be really intense about what needs to happen because you realize that you didn't get this power because you were, pleasant. You didn't get this power because you made people feel happy. You got this power because you worked your ass off. Period. And maybe within that, you tried to make as many people feel pleasant and as happy as you could, but it's no longer time for that. Because in that time where you were building and really more so learning, because that's what you do, you learn the ins and outs like so fast, but it takes so freaking long. You saw a lot. You saw so much. The Fool and the Five of Swords, you saw so much, and it's like, man, why would I put myself in these situations to potentially be treated that way? Because now you have a wealth of not just information, but experiences. And Mars in Cancer for you is such a dangerous transit because it's so important that you protect what you've just gained. You become such a target because everyone knows that you don't care how they feel about you or how they see you anymore. And they used to be able to manipulate you emotionally because they, especially if you're dealing with a Cancer, they knew how vulnerable you were, and maybe you don't make them feel a way about that, but you know it now, and I think they know that you know it as well, and it's very awkward. It's also really obvious that they want to compete with you instead of being a real partner to you, and that is also very awkward and unfortunate. So you're not sitting in this power and falling into this power energy because you want to be the most powerful. You're just allowing yourself to embody the power that you have versus trying to make everybody feel comfortable with where you've gotten to, which is where you have been. It's no longer about that. If you're dealing with the Pisces, they're so emotional, and it's like, ew. It's not that I don't care, but like, your feelings are not fact right now. They're just getting in the way of things. Mars retrograde back into Cancer is the need for you to hide as far away from everyone as you can. And this is a very long transit, and so it's time to get comfortable. It's time to go focus on something that you can obsess about very privately, very, behind the scenes. And there could be multiple things. Maybe you're obsessed about your partner. Maybe you're obsessed about your health. Maybe you're obsessed about this, gig that you have, whatever it is, that is only things that are safe for you to be your most intense self emotionally. Those are the areas where you want to focus. Everywhere else, you want to try to dial it back because your emotions become so intense, and people are so sensitive, and they want you to nurture them, and that's just like not like, you're just, that part of you just turns off because to you it feels like they're trying to put emotions in front of you, but you're trying to handle business. And it like, for you it really feels like one or the other. You can't handle business and be emotional. Like, it's a really complicated energy for you. So you really, in your work setting, in your connections, you want to learn. It's time to learn. People are really craving this softness, and in order to move, you have to give it to them. And it may feel, again, unfortunate to feel this shift, but it's beneficial that it's happening now. One, because you've probably already forgotten how important this emotional energy is now that Mars is entered Leo. But two, you want to get in the rhythm of this energy. You can be intense and caring at the same time. You just have to be more deliberate, less out there, less available. So you have the energy. The reason you don't have the energy is because you don't have the energy. The reason you don't have the energy to care is because you genuinely don't have the energy. So you've got to take extreme good care of your body and yourself. And you also have to remember that as crazy as people may begin to act, this is business. And the business is secured as long as you remember that. You'll never step too far left, too far right, because you remember that this is not about your feelings. It is about the business moving the way that it should. Yeah? And for a second, Mars in Cancer is going to hit you so hard that you're going to forget the whole point of it all. But Mercury is going to shift into Capricorn on January 8th, and you remember that you're above it all. Yes, everyone on the ground is as crazy as you think they are. Absolutely, they are crazy, they act crazy, they do not do the right thing. 100%. That is happening. But are you going to be a Gemini and spend all your time talking about that and being wrapped up in that and not getting things done and being distracted because of that? Or are you going to do your thing, go bigger, take your concepts and your visions to a farther place because you have a different path? Of course, it'd be nice to engage in the drama, but you have a different path. You can't win if you're focused on somebody else's path. Focus on your path. Whatever you feel within yourself, lean into that. Trust that. That is what was planted within you. You aren't here to be anybody else. You're here to be yourself. Mercury in Capricorn helps you mentally stay above the noise and take all of this work and make it work for you. You had your head above the ground and you were getting, hit by so many arrows and so many shots fired, and you've taken them all because you needed to see what you were working with. You needed to see what the environment was, what's happening on land now. You needed to come out from your vacation home and come out into the world and see, oh wow, okay, this is where the world is at today. You need to learn, and now you've learned, and a lot of it is pretty shitty, but a lot of it is actually cool things that you can curate into whatever you want. And Mercury in Capricorn season is the resourcefulness to do it. It's about teaching something that you don't have to say, hey, I'm the teacher of this. It's actually coming from your energy. Everyone who was shooting arrows and guns and energy towards you before starts to realize that, oh man, I can gain a lot from this person. A lot. This person was triggering my ego so badly because they were focused on learning and not about making me feel like a great person. But now I understand it was never their job to make me feel like a great person. They're showing me how to grow, how to be authentically myself in my growth journeys, and how to have a good time with it. On January 13th, we have a full moon in Cancer. whether things are happening in your favor, seem like they're happening in your favor or not, it is. Like, this feels like I have outgrown something, and I'm still walking on this path like I am like 5 years old, but like I'm actually like in like the 15-year-olds group, you know what I mean? Like, it's that type of energy. It's like you've outgrown that energy within yourself. Let it die. Let it die. It's also a time where you want to let the success find you. You don't want to step out on the 13th around that time. Let any opportunities come to you. Don't seek them out. Don't push for anything. Focus on where you've just arrived to and where that means you can go next. It also feels like you're looking for this level of like softness from the world externally, and you're not going to get it, especially under the full moon in Cancer. So wait. It might not feel and seem like you're leveling up from the outside. This is just a moment when the world is saying, honestly, you're not the energy that we want. And I know that hurts to hear and it hurts to feel that. But I don't think you want a dishonest experience. Like, you there's no benefit. Like, that's why when people lie to you and they think that they're like, you actually believe them, like, your senses go off so hard because you're like, you're lying. Like, I've done this to my partner where I'm like, you're lying right now. Like, you don't have to be nice to me right now. Like, I appreciate it, but like, I would rather you just tell me the truth, you know? And it's just like, we can't help it. Like, we don't want to be living in this false, like, just tell me the truth, just tell me what you really think, just tell me. But people are just not who they are. It's not how they go about things. They'd rather make you feel comfortable, and as much as that is appreciated, it's of no benefit to you and your growth for who you are. And as much as it may hurt to feel the world's rejection of who you are, and how you are, it's actually the most helpful and beneficial thing for you, because one, it shows you what not to leave to the world to even depend on their acceptance, right? For certain aspects of yourself, right? If you're leaving yourself open for acceptance, that's dangerous for your heart. But also, it shows you what you need to rework, what you care about reworking, right? That pain might be pointing you towards something that you can work on. It's a good thing. But it's okay if you need time to feel and to be emotional, angry about not being accepted in some environments, some situations. And it may also be partial because you just don't care about being accepted, if it means you can't be exactly how and who you are. But as much as I support your independence, that's a cop-out. You want connection. And as Capricorn season wraps up and we shift into Aquarius season, all of these very physically heavy truths become super easy to integrate. you change. You realize that there was a lot that you needed to shed, and it was hard to do it without these moments of truth, without these revelations and these revealing experiences. It was hard to do it. But the full moon and Capricorn season equipped you with the resources and the emotional awareness, emotional intelligence. And you finally start to speak in a way that is connected in a way that you actually want. It's a reinvention of your voice. It's you acknowledging that maybe you've been confused because you have been prideful. So prideful that it's made you go after everything instead of just going after the thing that you really, really desire. When the sun enters Aquarius, all of your desires only need just a little bit of energy, not a lot. The littlest bit of energy, littlest bit of fire and information makes things fly quickly. We'll talk more about Aquarius season then, but in the meantime, why don't you celebrate your birthday right? You deserve it. Love you, Sagittarius. You can schedule private and birth chart readings with me through the link in the description. And the Capricorn season playlist Height is out now on Apple Music. Link is in the description. See you in Aquarius season. Bye.